How are you even alive? That's a question I've heard in one form or another more times than I can count. Sometimes it's genuine curiosity, sometimes disbelief, sometimes just shock when I list a catalogue of things that have happened to me. In this week's vlog, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to take you through the whole mess. The injuries, the illnesses, the scars you can see, and the ones you don't. But let's get this clear from the very start. I don't expect sympathy. Sympathy does nothing for me. What I'd like is understanding, empathy, to put a human shape on what it means to live in a body that's been through war, hospitals, rehab, and relentless everyday battles, and to show that there's a real human behind the Triple B gimmick. And before we dive in, yes, a lot of this comes from my career in the Royal Marines. Over 2 decades of service, 2 decades of physical punishment, carrying more than my body weight, being battered by the environment, training, deployments, and the job itself. I chose that life. I'm proud of that life, but it left its mark, or rather, it left about a dozen marks. So let's begin.
It's Monday, don't groan, don't fear. The beard and beer blot bloke is here. Talking nonsense, beard on show. Grab a brew and watch him go.
2007, my back finally gave out. I'd served 11 years by that time, and that time in the Royal Marines will just do that to you. Endless load bearing, heavy instruments, training. You don't realise you're burning through the very structure that holds you upright until it just stops working. The injury wasn't just one moment, like some dramatic Hollywood fail. It was cumulative. Years of grind, years of ignoring the small pains, because in the Marines, you don't complain. You get on with it. You patch it up. You carry the kit. You push through. Then one day, my back simply said, no more. The pain was indescribable. Not a pulled muscle, not a tweak. We're talking about pain that makes you reconsider moving at all. Pain that turns every basic task into a negotiation with your body. Sitting, standing, lying down, each one came with its own set of tortures. In the recovery, that took 3 or 4 years. Imagine that. Years spent rebuilding basic mobility, living in cycles of rehab, physio, frustration and setbacks. You learn patience, or you go mad. And to be honest, I probably did a bit of both. A back injury never truly leaves you. Even now, it's bubbling away in the background, reminding me that I'm not indestructible, that I burned the candle at both ends and the wick snapped. Now, here's the thing I need people to understand. In the Royal Marines, and honestly in the wider military culture, there's a silence around pain. You don't complain. You don't tap out. You don't go sick. You don't go to sick bay unless it's absolutely catastrophic, because pain is a default state. Everyone's hurting. Everyone's carrying something. So you grit your teeth. You tell yourself it's just a twinge, just a knock, just fatigue, and you push through. You can't be that bloke that says, my back's sore, I'll just sit this one out, because that's not how it works. The job still needs doing. The team still needs you. That silence around pain is a kind of pride, but it's also a kind of trap. It makes you believe that you're tougher than biology, tougher than cartilage, tougher than the discs and joints and tendons. And for a while, maybe you are, but eventually that bill will come through. And for me, that bill was my back giving out. 3 or 4 years of recovery, decades of pain management, that was the price of my silence. Of course, my back wasn't the only casualty of that mindset. My right shoulder is another story. Again, thanks to my career in the Royal Marines. Decades of carrying a 16 kilogram hunk of brass. You grind away the cartilage until one day there's nothing left. No lubricating fluid, just bone on bone. Every movement is a scrape and a crunch and a reminder. People ask what it feels like. It feels like betrayal. Your own body turning against you. You reach for a mug, you reach for your kids. You even think about putting on a rucksack and the shoulder reminds you, we don't do that anymore. There's no easy fix, no replacement that magically resets decades of wear and tear. It's management, it's adaptation, and sometimes it's just gritting your teeth and accepting the sound of your own skeleton grinding together like broken machinery. It took 2 steroid injections to get me able to function somewhat normally, but it's still there, lurking like some horrible little camera goblin. Now let's jump forward to 2013, a heart attack at 36 years old. The kind of thing that you don't tend to pencil into your diary. I was too young, I was too fit by civilian standards, but after years of military service, years of me pushing my body beyond its limits, and yes, some lifestyle choices that weren't doing me any good, the inevitable happened and a blood clot got me. It's hard to describe what a heart attack feels like, but let's say this, it is clarity. One moment you think you're bulletproof, the next you realise you are so fragile, mortal, human. That day carved a line through my life before and after. People talk about their life flashing before their eyes. For me, it wasn't flashes. It was weight, the weight of everything I'd done and everything I still wanted to do. I survived it, obviously, but it left me changed forever. Once you've stared down your own heart betraying you, you don't go back to living blindly. And I flash forward again to 2024, because apparently I hadn't had enough. I broke a bit off my kneecap. Don't even ask how. By that point, it felt like my body was just drawing names out of a hat and deciding which part to sabotage next. A broken kneecap is not glamorous. It's the kind of injury that earns you war stories. It's just humiliating, immobilising, painful. And I also had 9 long months of physio from some sicko dominatrix with a knee fetish. Yet another brick in the wall of permanent reminders that my body isn't mine anymore. It's a collection of liabilities. Next up, we have permanent tinnitus. The soundtrack of my life is a constant ringing. Imagine the worst ringing in your ears ever after a loud gig, except it never stops. Add into that hearing loss in both ears, which is now managed with hearing aids. You want irony? I served my country with full hearing. It took it away, and now I need technology just to catch half a conversation. It's kind of funny in a bleak sort of way. And we have the ongoing battles. I developed type 2 diabetes. Thankfully, I managed to get it in remission, but diabetes isn't just about sugar. It's about control, constant vigilance, constant monitoring. Your body has a permanent to-do list. It taught me a bit more discipline, and again, I've lost more than 3 kilograms in the last 4 months. But it also taught me that remission doesn't mean freedom, it means reprieve, and that reprieve can be temporary. Then there's the invisible stuff, the anxiety, the depression. High levels, diagnosed, treated, and medicated. Because let's kill this nonsense once and for all. You do not need to tough out mental illness. You treat it, you manage it. And sometimes, even with meds, you fight like hell just to show up. It's one thing to have a broken body, it's another to have a brain that sometimes wants you gone. That is the hardest battlefield. That's the one you never retire from. And now, as the cherry on top of the cake, let's see if I can pronounce this correctly, I have Quervain's Tenosynovitis in my left thumb. It sounds fancy, but really it just means this. It hurts like hell to do anything with my hand. Typing, scrolling, even holding a pint, all painful. And I've heard too many wanking jokes, several times. Too many now. It's absurd. My thumb has even joined the rebellion against me. I'm running out of body parts to trust. Now let's talk about something a little bit different. Online abuse. The endless streams of people who think it's hilarious to tell me to try and kill myself, to threaten me, to try and break me. And the last straw? This idiot. He thought it was funny to say he'd find my 15-year-old daughter. Let me be clear, you do not come for my child. That's where the line is. That's where I stop joking. From this point onwards, I will no longer break kayfabe to acknowledge these people. They don't deserve the oxygen. They don't deserve the platform. They want attention, I'll give it to them in the form of naming and shaming. This is my story, not theirs. So how am I even alive? Honestly, I don't know. Maybe it's stubbornness. Maybe it's the Marine in me that refuses to quit. Maybe it's just blind luck. But I'm here. And I keep going, I keep laughing, because dark humour is the last weapon I've got against the absurdity of it all. My body's broken, my mind has tried to betray me. Strangers online have tried to push me over the edge. And yet, here I am, alive, still talking, still refusing to quit. And before anyone asks, yes, there is more to my story. I have deliberately not touched on what happened in August 2024, the assault. That's something I'm still processing, still trying to understand. And there'll be a time and a place for that conversation. But it's not in this video. This video is about everything that came before. The things that shaped me, broke me, and somehow left me standing. Not inspirational, not a miracle, just stubborn.